Hey, Willie, come here. Listen to this.
Turn it up.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to 3NN Podcast.
Now with more.
I'm Nick Tesla,
I'm Rich Colazzo.
I'm Brian McFadden.
and you have joined the internet's premier show for open minds everywhere.
You goddamn right.
We tackle heavy topics,
Heavy.
but we keep it light.
Very light.
I feel like we got a PBS theme going today. Yeah, no.
Yes,
People
yeah.
think PBS is boring. You start looking up PBS's YouTube channels,
Yeah.
all different PBS
Yo, PBS
YouTube
is the
channels.
shit.
Stuff
yo.
they don't
I
want
love
you to
PBS,
know.
Are
man.
you serious? I'd rather watch PBS's YouTube channels every day.
Here's a good one for you.
PBS.
Stuff
PBS
they
is
don't
awesome,
want you
dude.
to know. Stuff they don't want you to know is a PBS channel.
Is it? I
Yeah.
thought stuff they
Yeah.
don't want you
Yeah.
to know was how, what is it? How it's made? No, not how it's made. What is it?
Yeah, it's how it's
How
made.
it works.
How
Yeah.
it works. How it works. Yeah, that's what that
a
is.
PBS
Yeah.
network is how it
Yeah.
works. A PBS
Yeah.
thing.
It comes up with the
crazy.
PBS
Yeah, it does.
logo at the end of every episode.
Wow, that's pretty crazy. And that's one of my more favorite things because they're very concise and they put the
Bill Nye,
they
the
put
science
everything
guy.
together. Bill Nye the Science Guy. Yeah. What was that other show? Do you guys remember that other show? That was
Mr.
on?
Wizard.
No. Beekman's World.
Beekman's World.
Beekman's World.
Oh my
man,
god.
I want to do a show like Beekman's World. We
Yeah.
turn kids on to
Beekman's
science,
World,
but
yo.
also be goofy and weird as fuck at the same time with like a giant rat. This is a perfect town to do it in too. Giant river rat.
Beekman's World was the shit.
Beekman's World. I feel like my audio is fucked up again, but whatever.
Ladies and
So,
gentlemen, leave it in the comments if Nick's audio's fucked up.
Yeah, if it is, it is. Yeah.
Fix it, motherfucker.
If it is, it is.
We're
Maybe I should
professionals.
just talk like a normal person instead of talking like this. Like I'm just the guy on the corner talking.
We're professionals here, ladies and gentlemen. We've had a lot of practice.
All right, so what do you call it? First thing I want to bring up before we delve into the UFO topic of the day, we're talking about UFOs, people. We're talking about UFOs.
UFO-porno. You ever see that shit?
No.
UFO-porno.
UFO porno?
Yeah. UFO-porno.
UFO porno?
You never seen them before? Oh my god, that's
no.
hilarious, yo.
I got a question for y'all. If somebody is drinking and driving, right, hits somebody, kills that person, drives up onto the curb, kills somebody, and like hits somebody and kills them, and is taken to the hospital. Yes, they might have stuck around and stayed at the scene, but they're taken to the hospital. Their blood is tested, and it's found out that they have a high blood alcohol level, and they're released. Does that sound at all right to you?
No.
No?
No.
Even given our criminal justice viewpoints.
No.
No. Doesn't sound right.
That doesn't sound right
No.
at all, right?
Nope.
That dude doesn't deserve his freedom if he's putting everybody at risk. Like
Yep.
that, right?
He should go to the
And he has
hospital.
killed somebody.
Listen, if you're
He
getting
should go to the hospital. They should get him stable or whatever, and
He
then
wasn't
take him to
into it.
jail.
He wasn't into
Listen,
it.
if
Okay,
you-
go to the
Take him
hospital, get
for a
released to
blood
jail.
test.
if you're gonna be stupid enough to drink and drive, you get caught and you get into an accident, hurt somebody, you can go to jail
Yeah,
because
that's what
you're putting everybody's life in danger.
exactly.
Yeah,
So you shouldn't be released
No.
a few
No.
hours
Fuck no.
later. Like, okay, well, here's your charge of reckless driving and this
No.
and that. Like,
You should be
and a
sitting behind bars.
DUI. Like, because if you get a DUI, I think some people think, maybe not a lot, but some people think you get a DUI and you're like locked up for a few days or some shit. Now you're locked up for the night, put in the drunk tank, you sober up in the morning, they give you your paperwork that says you've been charged with a DUI and you're on your way. They release you and they let you go. You got to come back for court to do all that stuff, but it's not even like you need to be bailed out or anything like that. There's not an immediate jail sentence for a DUI, or it's not like...
But you
need to be
said
held.
if they hit and kill somebody.
Yes, if they hit and kill somebody.
That's vehicular manslaughter.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you charge that person with vehicular
And driving
manslaughter
under the
right away?
influence.
Why would you say, well, we're going to continue our investigation and more than likely we'll charge that person with vehicular manslaughter? Why would you let that person go? Why would that person deserve their freedom if they just killed somebody? That's all I wanted to know. basically.
Where's this coming?
Yeah, I was about to say because we're about to
You
be on
guys
it.
haven't been following the news at all? Local tri-state news?
Oh, no, not local. What's going on?
Yeah, there was a kid who was hit in Burlington.
Oh yeah, that's right on 130, right?
Yeah, and the dude that hit him, they let him go in the morning. And it's like, he killed him. He killed the kid.
But was it he was drunk?
Yeah.
The guy was drunk?
Yeah.
Was he charged?
But see, the thing is, the kid ran across the street.
No, the kid was on the sidewalk.
He was on the sidewalk?
Kid was on the sidewalk.
What?
This guy drove
So
up
this
on the
guy-
sidewalk,
wait,
drove
so-
through a pole, and then hit him.
What the...
No, dude, he should go
Was
to
he
fucking
charged
jail,
with
man.
anything?
He was charged with reckless driving, or reckless endangerment, and, maybe I think it was reckless driving, and a DUI.
That's it?
And released.
What the fuck?
Isn't there something weird there?
There's some
Something
very
shady
strange,
there?
man.
Like this guy's friends with somebody or some shit like that, some sort of a powerful individual or some shit.
What was his last name? Rockefeller or Rothschild?
Yeah, I don't know. But what that tells us, Brian, is even on lower political levels, if you know somebody, you're basically immune to what everybody else is subject to. You know, immune to the laws that everybody else is subject to. You know, or you don't have to, like, okay, yeah, you just killed somebody, but you didn't literally, like, shoot somebody or something like that, so we'll be able to get you out. Well, don't worry, you're not getting locked up at all.
It sounds like something like the movie The Skull.
You know what it sounds like to
Our
me?
walls
You know what it sounds like to
supersede
me?
theirs.
A friend of somebody, either Chris Christie himself or somebody in the Chris Christie administration. That's what it sounds like to me. Somebody who's got a high level, either New Jersey or maybe even national political influence. Doesn't mean that they themselves are a political person, or in any kind of political field, but they could be friends with the family. And if you're friends with the family, you just make that call like, holy shit, I did something wrong, but I'm scared to go to jail, you know?
Now, when you're friends with the family, do you get, special perks like, do you get to see full disclosure that the public doesn't get to see on, say, UFOs and aliens?
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, Brian, I would suspect no. But only because Jimmy Carter, before he was president, came out and said that he had seen a UFO.
Yes, I recall this.
I think the governor of what was it? Of Phoenix, right? Or not Phoenix?
Yeah, it was Phoenix. It was Arizona.
The governor of Arizona saw the Phoenix lights and said that he had seen it.
But he
turned it into a joke.
No, he made it into a joke.
He made it into a joke, but he's since been interviewed. Since he's not governor anymore, he's since been interviewed about it and regrets that he turned it into a joke and felt that he was pressured from the Air Force or certain military aspects were pressuring him, and also people from inside of his political administration were trying to pressure him to turn it into a joke and trying to almost try and make him feel like he would be a fool if he treated it like it was the truth. And the main pressure really came from the military, and the military didn't want him to actually push them.
I heard that was flares, man.
Nah.
I heard it was a weather
what I've
balloon.
looked into it about. I heard that it was flares, but the fact that they lingered for, I believe it was like 2 hours or something. The military flares don't linger. The military flares do fall. Yeah, they can seem like they're lingering, but after 20 minutes they'll make a marked falling. You know what I'm saying? Like they will definitely lower in the sky. This thing didn't lower; it moved across the sky. Flares don't move across the sky. You know. So, speaking of the Phoenix lights,
Maybe it was a drone flare.
that's the official explanation for the Phoenix lights is military aviation flares. That's what they're called, and they do look somewhat similar when you see them from a distance. They do look somewhat similar to what the lights of the Phoenix lights look like.
Yeah, right.
But
And you know what? And those really narrow white strips in the sky, those are real clouds.
save for the chemtrail episode, B-Rise. Save for the chemtrail episode. Area 51. Do you guys want to even just go there? Let's go there.
Oh my god, man!
I'd love to go there,
when it comes,
but the fucking camo dudes won't let me in.
I call these my undeniable UFO sightings. These are, through my research, the sightings that have been claimed to be undeniable sightings. So Phoenix Lights, just because it was witnessed by thousands of people, if not close to 1 million people. I don't think it was close to 1 million. But it was thousands and thousands of people that witnessed the Phoenix Lights, okay? Area 51. 1992, and this isn't thousands of people witnessed it, but this is one of those almost undeniable UFO cases or stories, right? Area 51, 1992. And I'm just giving you a quick description of what they are if you want to look them up and be like, holy fuck, like this is some crazy shit. In 1992, there was a night vision glowing orb hovering over Area 51.
Interesting.
Yes, and that's one of the good videos. Like, and this is my own research. This isn't some list that I found online.
Do you have anything
like
about Battle Los Angeles?
That was pretty awesome.
Battle Los Angeles, I think I may end
The
up...
real Battle of Los Angeles.
Yeah, the real Battle of Los Angeles.
Not the bullshit one.
Yeah, no, I know the official explanation for that was a weather balloon, and that they were shooting at a weather balloon. And it's like, well, don't you think the weather balloon would have came down after 500 rounds or so, not 2,000 or 4,000 or whatever the hell it was they shot at the...
That says a lot about our military if you can't... That says a lot about our military if you take 10,000 fucking rounds.
The official story is over 10,000 rounds.
Well, when you think about what... the time frame that Battle Los Angeles occurred, right? Battle Los Angeles, for anybody that doesn't really know, Battle Los Angeles was basically just a UFO that was hovering over the Hollywood Hills in 1942. I believe it was July 7th in 1942.
During World War II.
Yeah, and basically this UFO was hovering, and it was a real bright light hovering over the Hollywood Hills, and the military seen it and focused in on it and basically surrounded it. And firing.
Yeah, and from there it was like that scene in Predator where it's like 12 dudes just dumping clip after clip into the jungle. That's what they did to this thing in the sky.
The thing was actually deflecting them back at full speed. So, like, what was funny was some of the artillery was actually being deflected back at the ground.
That's not funny. That's
not
scary.
funny at all, but it's also, like, the best defense mechanism in the world, you know what I'm saying? Or out of this world, I guess you could say. But what's really crazy is when you think about the time frame, if you know about the UFO sighting history in the United States and Roswell and all that, if you think about the time frame, I believe Roswell happened in 1945.
Yes.
Okay? So
that I do know.
You understand the time frame that all this kind of happened. We fired this. It was one of our first major sightings of a UFO that could have been big news. And what did we do? We fired at it. We fired everything we had at the fucking thing.
Except the nuke.
If this was...
We did not fire a nuke.
But if this was an alien race, why would they think that we're even remotely friendly?
Right? That's what I was thinking.
It's just hovering in the sky. We're not trying to communicate with it. We're firing at it like, take it down! Take it down! We're an aggressive species. And since then, UFO sightings have just been UFO sightings, not UFO contacts. And a UFO contact, it's like borderline, that person could just be schizophrenic or something, you know what I'm saying? Alright.
Yeah, I really don't think it was a good idea to shoot first and ask questions later.
But isn't that so indicative
think
of
about
humanity? Not just the United States.
Okay, here's where I'll go with this. Star Trek First Contact. Remember that one?
No. Well, yeah, of course I remember them all.
When the Vulcans come to Earth and they have the first contact with humans... What if the humans would have been sitting there shooting everything they had at that Vulcan ship?
That was kind
they
of
would not have gotten the technology that enabled them to...
That was kind of the point of the Star Trek story that they were trying to tell at that time. That's why I did like that movie. Is that we have to reach a point, and that's why they were saying it was almost like a post-apocalyptic world where it was after World War III and after like civilization had kind of broken down and had to restart and everything, right? Which I truly believe is going to need to happen for us to reach that crescendo of all of humanity at one moment or at one time frame or whatever, evolving into a more civilized race, or a more civilized, not race, a more civilized species. You know what I'm saying? But it's going to take some shit like that, and that's what the Star Trek story is trying to say.
It doesn't even matter who our president is.
And world peace, we have to reach that point of everything around us breaking down. The systems that are in place.
The problem is nowadays, if one of these things tries to land and be peaceful, the first thing you're going to see, even if we don't fire, we can walk out there ready to give them a hug, and here comes ISIS and chops the thing's head off.
Well, that's a good way to tell if something actually is something that the government or some world power has created and is just trying to dupe humanity with. That's a good way to know if some shit lands on the planet and we're just super peaceful to it and super nice to it and not aggressive towards it. something fishy's going on. Because that's not the way our system is set up, the way this society is set up, that's not the way it works.
True.
So if they're not firing blazing glory at this thing, then something is up. Exactly. Something is up. All right, so another Area 51 UFO sighting that is almost undeniable. If you want to look up the first one, it's a night vision glowing orb hovering, and that's basically if you type that into Google and type Area 51 1992 night vision glowing orb hovering, you'll find that shit. All right, 1993, leaked footage. Pardon me. That was so unprofessional of me.
Yes, it was.
I'd like to smack
We're
myself
professionals,
in the face
ladies and gentlemen.
If I wasn't
professional
scared
burpers.
that you'd hurt me, I'd ask one of you guys to smack me in the face for me. But we'll pass on all that and just move on. Moving on.
Now I'd like to smack you in the face.
I know you would, Brian. 1993. Leaked footage of military... Yeah, no, I hit the microphone with my face. 1993. Leaked footage of military...
Karma.
Well, I hate my handwriting sometimes. Of military Lamaris trading a shape-shifting UFO.
What?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Tracking. Okay. Of military Lamirs tracking a shape-shifting UFO. So if anybody knows what I'm trying to say by Lamirs, maybe Lamoves, I don't know.
Oh my god.
But 13 miles in 6 seconds. That's how fast. This was on a military radar. It was an object. Let's just say an object, okay, to be objective here.
Well, we are. UFO is
Okay.
unidentified flying object.
Okay, so this object that was caught in 1993, and there was leaked footage of this actually being caught on military cameras, right? An object of a shape-shifting UFO going 13 miles in 6 seconds.
That's pretty damn fast.
That defies physics. That defies the physics that we know. You know what I'm saying? And when you see something like that, that's what I'm saying is science is
No, it doesn't necessarily defy our physics, because if you actually took
does.
you could take the space shuttle. The space shuttle flies at like almost 1,000.
But not, it can't through our atmosphere. Because of the resistance, wind resistance, you can't get a plane like that. The Concorde.
But what I'm saying is,
the Concorde was the highest that our physics we thought could allow us to go in this atmosphere, right?
No, a space shuttle could actually travel at like 20 miles a minute or some shit like that.
Yeah, in space without
without space. Like when it's going up through the air pressure, it gets to that.
Oh, when it has the huge fucking booster rockets and shit.
So it's not beyond our physics, but I mean,
that thing ain't going 13 miles in 6 seconds. It ain't going 13 miles in 6 seconds. It might be going 13 miles in 10, 15 seconds, and maybe we get kind of close to that. But 13 miles in 6 seconds.
Either way,
it might be going a mile a second. I can see those boosters getting that thing going a mile a second. That thing going that fucking fast, because you need a lot. People don't understand the energy that it takes to get something the size of a space shuttle into the size of a space shuttle, plus the tanks that you need the fuel to carry to get it up there.
It's a lot of fucking fuel.
The energy that it takes to get that up, like into space. And to get that past our Earth, you know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of people who suspect that we still haven't even really accomplished
Flat Earthers, we're under a
lot of people who say we haven't been to space because we can't get through the Van Allen belts, and there's evidence to prove that.
Shout out to the Flat Earth community. You guys are nuts.
Why are you doing that? I don't know. Yeah, they are nuts. I guess I have to agree with you there, just because I don't share the belief of a flat Earth. But aren't so many other theories nuts? You know what I'm saying? Aren't so many other theories out there just nuts? Really? When it comes down to it?
I can believe Hollow Earth more than Flat Earth. Because Admiral Byrd...
I think Hollow Earth will one day lead to my insanity, my pending insanity. Because I really, truly believe that there's...
What do you think's in there? Think they're alien or native?
I don't know if... I think it's kind of like heaven. It's kind of like heaven. You're not going to be able to describe to me what's going on there.
There's a star.
Because if you go there, you're not coming back. That's for sure.
Admiral Byrd came back.
Admiral Byrd was the only person that came back. And I don't know if he really even
They
went.
proved that the Earth is not hollow.
They proved that it's a solid mass?
Yeah.
But it's not a solid.
Because it had just an iron core in the center.
Yeah, and see, I don't know about all that because we've only gone 8 miles down, and I don't know. To be 100% honest with you,
they've gone 8 miles down, but they measured it.
It's been about 2 years since
you can you can measure
We should do a
they can
Hollow
measure
Earth
and
episode
actually
in the
map out
future.
what the center of the Earth could look like. They think it looks like a giant fucking.
They think. Ooh,
They think.
Good
No, they
word.
know.
That's what I'm saying.
They know.
Now they know. They went from thinking to knowing.
No, they know.
That's like saying we know the speed of light. The speed of light's arbitrary. We made up the speed of light.
The speed of light
You
is.
know what I'm saying? And it's like it's kind of it's not completely arbitrary, but it's how some
It's
science
like
is
rating
just
a lawn
guesswork.
1 through 10.
Until we know, well, we have to kind of guess to fill in the blanks so that other shit kind of makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Some of our other science makes sense, and it's like, well, what are you filling in the blanks on that you're not really? You're almost like it could change, just like. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's what irks me is when it changes. There's no like, oh my god, can't believe that we were wrong. It's like acting like we're so smart for figuring this out, and it's like instead of saying no, you were convincing everybody else that the opposite was the truth or some shit. You know, that's why I love quantum physics.
Ooh.
All right, next one. Moving on to some more undeniable UFOs. Gulf Breeze, Florida. It's funny how some of these places, these locations, were the same locations
near bodies of water.
Yeah, and a lot of them were. So you got to think about USOs. What are they? Underwater submersible objects or something?
Yeah.
Or unidentified submersible objects.
There you go.
I said underwater. But in Gulf Breeze, Florida, 1987, structured craft video surfaces floating across the sky. Okay, so these are just you type them into Google, it'll fuck your head up. Okay, that's why I got to get through these because these aren't really that interesting without seeing them, and we can't really
Looks
see
like
them.
some of them sound interesting, some of them...
All of these are interesting. All these are interesting. I watched probably 100 UFO videos, and some of them were 5 minutes long, some of them were only 30 seconds long. But out of all of them, these were the ones that I thought were the most plausible of being, like, undeniably something we don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Instead of, oh, well, it's dark, that could be a plane, that could be a helicopter, you know what I'm saying? All right.
It's Superman.
So, Gulf Breeze, 1987.
It's the birds of plane. No, it's my giant dick.
Structured craft video services floating across the sky. I put floating in air quotes. In 1993, same spot, Gulf Breeze, Florida. UFOs hovering still, then instantly darts off. 3 different videos. Pretty creepy.
Okay, a couple different times in the same area of Florida. Is there a military base near there?
I'm not really sure. I think all of these are actually located. Yes, all of these are near military bases. I have a big note down at the bottom that says
Florida is the
these.
predominant place where they launched their.
Well, also look, the next
Cape
rockets.
Canaveral.
the next 2.
Yeah.
Redfish Point, Florida, 1993. Trash can-sized UFO hovers over ocean, rotating but not moving from its spot. Video very clear. You guys have probably both seen this video. It's from 1993, but it's always used as like one of the undeniable or one of the best UFO videos. Not as far as being a UFO, but as far as being something unidentifiable, floating, hovering in the sky, 30 feet above the ocean or something. But it's like one of the most clear videos I've ever seen. It looks like a futuristic trash can just hovering in the middle of the sky. Some crazy shit, okay? Midway City, Florida, 1993. So 1993 was a hot year for UFO sightings. So I'm just like, I'm waiting for the next hot year for UFO sightings. I really can't wait.
It seems to happen whenever there's an actual major war going on.
Yeah, I guess you could say as we started to ramp up with Libya and Syria and all that is when I saw my UFO.
Do you think maybe the handlers are coming down to tell the puppets how to play it out?
Well, I'll get to what I think UFOs really are, what my current assumption of what UFOs, because that's all anything can really be, unless you say, I've talked to them and they told me this, right? My current assumption, I'll tell you what that is in a little bit, because it might shock you, because I don't think they're handlers, to be honest with you. And really thinking about UFOs, Rich, you'll like this, right? Think about UFOs and simulation theory. And not simulation theory as the 1,000,001 different ways you can go with simulation theory. Specifically simulation theory that we're all in a computer simulation that is simulating the past, reality of the past, and we're in this computer simulation that is just a simulation of the past.
And
we have no control over all of our actions because they're all pre-recorded, but we think that every action that we do is a novel, and Well, not necessarily the Matrix, because we're not real. The Matrix, there's actual souls and consciousness hooked up as batteries, and their bodies are used as batteries, and their consciousness is entered into the Matrix. We're not even in the Matrix. We're actually just a computer program replaying. We existed 1,000 years ago.
If we are a computer program replaying the past, then what are the UFOs?
That's exactly what I was getting ready to say, Brian. You literally took the exact words that I was getting ready to say out of my mouth. What could the UFOs be if we... Because what if the UFOs weren't here in the past? That's why there can never be a huge UFO sighting that everybody knows about. Phoenix Lights being maybe the one-off, okay? There can never be a huge UFO sighting that everybody sees, because there was never a huge... Because there were never UFOs here before. UFOs are just something that's been entered into the simulation.
You know what?
Into the
I'll give you my opinion because it's short and sweet. I think after Battle of Los Angeles, when we shot over 10,000 rounds at that thing, I think they're like, okay, that's how they want to play. They're planning an Independence Day on us, and all these sightings now is like they're just scouting, see what we got.
I can't wait to see
what's
Independence Day.
That looks really crazy, doesn't it?
I just want to see Data. I haven't seen Data in any kind of movie or anything.
Brent Spiner.
I haven't seen Brent Spiner.
He died in the first Independence Day, didn't he?
I guess not, because he's in this one.
No, he didn't die.
And he looks like himself. It doesn't look like he's back as a corpse or anything. No, he didn't die.
He didn't die. He
did get like taken over by an alien and talked for the alien or whatever, but he wasn't dead.
I thought he was dead.
Release me.
He had to be. Thank you very much.
Release me.
Yeah, release me.
No.
I wonder if they can really do.
He had to be alive for the thing to be able to.
You think they really look like that?
What?
They could look like
they did in Independence Day. Wouldn't that be creepy?
I think it's a combination. I think it's between that and the Greys. Honestly,
I think that would be a disturbingly scary thing walking toward you. And yeah, our first nature as human beings probably would be to shoot it.
Here's my question: how come we've never seen it? Maybe we have. It just was never popular, and we don't even know about it.
You didn't hear? They were 13 miles underground at Dulce.
No. How come we haven't seen a movie? And this is a little bit telling, because you haven't seen movies about a lot of different subjects, which would be amazing movies, right? How come we haven't seen a movie about Greys invading the planet and taking over and invading
from their perspective?
Not from I'm just talking about Greys. You know, the big-eyed, big head, the aliens that we all believe, if there are real aliens, that's kind of what aliens look like. Okay, how come there hasn't been a movie with them invading our planet? There's been movies with them being funny. If you think about Paul and American Dad with Roger, he's fucking hilarious. Like they're treated as a comic bit, but they're never treated seriously as invading. Not even a video game.
Never a villain.
Not even a video game of Greys invading the planet. If you got something like that, little aliens that are invading the planet, they're little like green Martians.
Yep.
If you think about what do you call it? Mars Attacks and Destroy All Humans.
Mars Attacks was a great movie, by the way.
That was awesome.
That
was hilarious.
Hilarious movie. But if you think about it, it's campy. If they're going to do it real, then they try and make the aliens look much bigger and scarier and different looking. You know what I'm saying? Like Aliens, the movie, okay? Or Alien, whatever.
Yeah,
with Sigourney Weaver.
Like,
that's
dark.
But when we think about
stealthy.
aliens, what real-life aliens look like, we don't ever think of anything like that, do we? No. You know what I'm saying? We actually almost by default think of like Star Trek, whether it's because of Star Trek or not. We almost think of by default that they have some human features kind of like that. And when you think of Greys, they kind of have some human features. There's a lot of people who think Greys are actually the human being evolved, whether it be 10,000, 500,000, or 1,000,000 years into the future, and that's actually them who have the technology to come back and watch themselves in a earlier stage of evolution. That's actually human beings coming back and watching us. They no longer even have the ability to talk. They still have the mouth a little bit there and the nose, and like some of the features are still there, but we've evolved to look like that. Our skin has evolved to look like that. It's really some crazy shit when you think about it. So, I don't know. Did I talk about... no, Midway City, Florida, 1993. I started to.
Florida sounds popular.
Florida's the spot.
Especially in the early 90s.
Florida's the spot for you.
I was there in the early 90s, man, when they were doing a lot of launches and stuff.
I
mean, there's things that happen, but like nothing like Nothing's
it's
weird.
indicative. It's definitely indicative that they have all those launches around that time, and there's
NASA's
a lot
in
of
Florida.
UFO sightings. Exactly, Cape Canaveral. You know, what do you call it? Kennedy Space Center. UFO at night. This is Midway City, Florida, 1993. Just type this into Google. UFO at night, multiple angles, shines intense bright light from the bottom of it. That's some crazy shit. And these are all videos that you can see. So that's what some crazy shit is. Google that one, and it'll probably break your brain. All right, 9995. Okay, think about that then. 9995. All right,
Yeah.
think about
Yeah.
this. Okay, turn that upside down. It's, you take away
I'm
that
looking
5.
at it on the notes. It's
Yeah,
upside down to me.
he's seeing the 666. Victor Chiloriza. Chiloriza. That's how you would say it. Can you say that for me, Rich? What is it? Victor Chiloriza? Right?
Chilorza. Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's how
Chiloriza.
I kind of said it on the thing, and I was like, I would think it would be like Chiloriza. All right.
That's because we're
Chiloriza.
Northeasterners.
Yeah, Northeastern. Here we are with me with my Northeastern Southern accent.
I'm a damn Yankee.
So this is my main man Victor here in Mexico, right? He films what may be the best UFO footage ever captured. High detail of a complex UFO at night, and it's the Star of David shape.
Let me see.
Ooh.
Can you pull that up, actually?
I can pull these up after.
Okay.
Want me to put a little star? I'll pull these up after, just because it'll what do you call it? Could F up the recording. We gotta have a production laptop that I bust out for stuff like this. That's hooked up to a projector on the wall, you know, so we can all see what anybody's
Give me my
looking
pen.
at. Oh yeah, pen. Take it. Is that your pen? You brought pens here?
Yeah.
You knucklehead. I got pens.
Yeah.
I got plenty of pens. I just hide
I
them.
stay with a
My
sketchbook
girl
and a
sees
pen on me, man.
My girl's a waitress, so she steals it. She like literally takes a pen and then it's gone that day. And it's like, you got another pen? Like, no, I gave you a pen yesterday and it's gone now. All right, it's like same with lighters. All right, Brazil, 1990, circular UFO hovers over highway, displaying different light patterns on its underside. This is a video you can look up. So look, just Google Brazil 1990 circular UFO. All right. Greifswald, East Germany, 1990. Nuclear plant has UFOs circling each other over top of the plant. Hundreds of witnesses over hours, over a span of hours. Okay, so some UFOs are like, it just happens in like a 30-second span or even a 5-minute span. But this happened over hours. And what really amazes me about that is like, that's 1990. If we can have something like that happen nowadays, that would be groundbreaking.
I heard there was a lot of shit going on over the Middle East during the Gulf War.
Do you think maybe that has already happened? Do you think one of these mass sightings has happened? And there's been thousands of videos taken of it, but systematically, whether it be through the NSA or any other organization or different system that they have set up, they've systematically removed all evidence of these mass sightings.
I was just going to say that in the Gulf War, there's some guys with night vision goggles out in the fucking field, and there's these looks like giant, like Stars of David.
Yeah.
There's like 3 of them, sets of 3, and they're just floating in the air, and they're like, dude, what is that? Like, and they can see with their bare eyes, their naked eyes at nighttime, and then they're with the night vision goggles, it's just even worse.
Yeah,
man, that's nuts, man.
It is
That's
nuts,
nuts.
and it's nuts to hear because you can any random person off the street out there can tell you their UFO story, and it can be just like anybody else's UFO story, and it could blow your mind or not. Or if you don't even believe in UFOs, you could just think they're crazy or they thought they saw something that they didn't. But when the military sees something and they actually investigate just a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Most of the time they don't investigate too much, or they try and the thing takes off, and there's not much more investigating to be done other than reviewing what footage you have or what have you, you know what I'm saying? But when the military investigates, it's like there's all of a sudden a record there. You know what I'm saying? There's a record that something unidentified was out there, and it was not the military's. You know, and that's what's crazy, you know, like, because anybody else can tell you, and it's not really documented, and, like, you can kind of just say they may be crazy or they may thought they had seen something. But military people, I don't want to say are trained to know what they're seeing, but they're not going to just like make some shit up as much as the average person would.
Yeah, exactly.
You know and there's almost a record, and there's like literally audio records of people. If you think about the Rendlesham Forest incident, there's audio record of these people seeing the actual UFOs and their reactions to seeing the UFOs then and there. You know what I'm saying? Not like, them afterwards telling the story of what they saw and this and that. You know what I'm saying? And when there's also radar recordings of it, that's when it's like, oh my God, radar recordings of something going 13 miles in 6 seconds. That's like, okay, just explain that to me. If you can, try and explain that away, because you're not going to be able to explain that to the layman. All right? And nuclear plant. All right? That was 1990 in Greifswald, East Germany. Nuclear plant. Okay? What have they been? They've hovered over nuclear shit a lot. You know, haven't they? Right? They have. They have. And they've deactivated nuclear warheads.
Really?
There's been a couple of occasions where planes have been or rockets have been flying up with nuclear warheads or some kind of weaponry, and there'd be these things that would just come out of nowhere and just shut them off. Yep.
There's a video of actually one where they're filming it as it's going up. It's kind of arching a little bit, and all of a sudden you see this UFO fly up to it, kind of do like a circle around the top of it,
shoot a beam,
and then shoot like a white beam that looks like it goes like directly into the heart of the warhead, not the missile, but the heart of the warhead, and then fly off.
It's two shots.
Is it?
Shoots it once, cuts around, shoots it again, and then it flies off.
Yeah, and I think you actually see like the top of the warhead just like fall off or some shit like that. It's like crazy.
What do you make of World War II pilots that talk about gremlins sabotaging their planes?
Well, you got gremlins sabotaging their planes. You got Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters,
There's a lot of different crazy shit. And it's like, you think about airplane pilots. There's people out there that have seen shit, and I think there's just a culture in that career.
Just don't talk about it, or the guys in black suits will show up.
Either the guys in black suits will show up, or you're going to be ostracized and looked at as that crazy dude who's really trying to figure out what this stuff is. And it's like, everybody knows sometimes
what it could be,
but don't be that crazy dude that's like trying to figure it out, because then they need to get rid of you. You know what I'm saying?
This is a theory that I had a long time ago, that it could possibly be that there are life forms that are in the atmosphere, in the upper atmosphere, that we have not discovered yet, because we really don't go up there except when we're sending out rockets and shit.
That, what that would lead to, though, or that would require a cover up by NASA.
But that's what
NASA covers up everything.
What I'm saying is that there's a life form of some sort living in our atmosphere that we just don't know about.
What about?
And that's what we think of as UFOs, but they're actually these floating things.
What if it's an interdimensional species that we share this planet with, and on another dimensional level,
you don't believe in time,
planet,
but you don't believe in time, right?
I do. I believe all time is now.
All right. See, all time is now.
Yeah.
So if it was an interdimensional thing, then it would exist now.
What if it's this? What if it's us a million years in the future, and we actually saved this planet, and we rebuilt the planet, or whatever the hell we had to do? It's a million years in the future, and it has nothing to do with dimensionally, because time is cyclical. We're actually looping back over, or they're looping back over on top of us. So some of their experience, they experience our world. You know what I'm saying? Because their world is overlaid on top of ours, almost, in as far as time, because time's one giant record, or one giant cyclical thing. For all we know, it is. You know what I'm saying? It's probably not. Time's a linear thing, and most people think that it is. But what if it's not? You know what I'm saying?
Well, time was invented by man.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
So just like math. Haha, see, we got it. All right. But then again,
the universal language.
It was all here. It's just when we are able to vocalize what it is and define what it is. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of shit that we've yet to even vocalize what it is. There's not even a word for some shit yet, you know?
Or they'll make crazy words up, but then they'll make them sound happy under Common Core.
Well, I think I like when new words are discovered, or I guess new things are discovered, and there's a new word for that new thing. I just hate new words that are really an abomination of an old word. You know, a mutilation of an old word, like bae. You know what I'm saying? I love babe. Babe is one of my favorite words in the world, in the fucking world to say. Right? My favorite words in the world to say. I said that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Bae is an abomination. Why do you need to take that B out? Can you tell me that? And it's not even like it's just B-A. It's B-A-E. Why are you taking my damn B out of babe? Okay?
Even abbreviations are becoming abbreviated.
Exactly. What is that?
Bro, bruh,
Bruh.
bruh,
Bruh.
bruh,
Mm-hmm.
bruh. Bruh.
I used to like bro, and then I felt like I was too PC principal.
Yeah.
Even before PC principal.
What's up, bro?
All right, so we're gonna take our first advertisement break. Advertisement break. So we're going to take that while we have some more ranch flavored lettuce cut chips. Oh, they're all out. That sucks. All right. Yeah, I don't know. We'll take a break. We'll get right back to you with some more UFO stuff. I think I only got one more page of notes here, but it's some crazy stuff, man. We're gonna start breaking your brain. So get ready. I think we'll delve into some Mary Jane. She's my favorite girl. I'd marry her if I could, but she.
You too damn hype right now, my man. Somebody's knocking on the door.
I don't like that.
Did you take the break already?
The break is now 3-2. Today's episode of 3NN has been brought to you by Seaside Park, New Jersey, future home of the Atlantic Ocean. God, Rich. Oh, my God.
She was fucking hot, dude.
Oh, my God.
Like, yeah, I'll put it right in your mouth, girl.
Are we recording?
Yeah, we're recording.
Oh, you recording?
And we're back.
All
right. What a way to make a splash.
Put it right in your mouth, girl.
Put it in her ear. Remember that fucking Family Guy episode? Where that was like the thing to do.
I'm not. You know what? I don't watch Family Guy, man. Like, I'm not a big Family Guy guy.
I like each Family Guy episode.
Family Guy guy.
I'm not a Family Guy
guy. The only Family Guy episode I liked was when I had Bill Cosby on it. The ship dropped with the bottom. Ka-choo.
I kind of like it. It's alright. I got ADD, so it's like it's made basically in the fashion of an ADD like mindset or an ADD mind, like where it's just it darts off at random points to just kind of make fun of something that was just said or to explain something that was just said, but in a funny way. And it's like
right now.
That's how an ADD brain works.
Like right now.
So it's like Family Guy just naturally.
Like right now.
There you go.
Even though there's parts of it that I find stupid.
Here it is.
And there's parts of the South Park episodes that have made fun of Family Guy's absolute stupidity, right? That I agree with. But I still find Family Guy easily able to be watched.
I think an alien
Especially
just possessed Nick's brain and made him advertise corporate.
You shall not talk about Men in Black.
You Truman Show motherfuckers. For all I know, this is 3,000 years in the future, and I've been abducted because I was one of the lone survivors, or my parents were one of the lone survivors, and they gave birth to me. And all you guys are just aliens in bodysuits, and it's 3,000 years in the future. You alien motherfuckers. I'm not the alien. You guys are the aliens. See how easy it is that somebody can just lose their fucking mind? They really start to believe some crazy shit.
You know, technically, we're in the 17th century.
Yeah, I know. Phantom Time?
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Let's do an episode on Phantom Time. That's what I want to try and do. I want to integrate the shit that we normally kind of touch on, which is shit that's already kind of established as people have heard of, but almost to the point where they're like, I don't want to hear anybody new's opinion on it. You know, anybody new out there, I don't want to hear their opinion on it. Let's start touching on some shit also that other people haven't really heard of as well. That they have to listen to, regardless if it's somebody new, because they've never heard of it and it's that fucking interesting. Like Phantom Time. So let's do an episode on that, too.
We can do that.
Maybe we'll touch on that next week. God and Phantom Time. Yeah, that's a cool episode title. Alright, so let's go back to some UFO sightings that are, like, undeniable. You can find online. They're pretty easily able to be found. This shit will blow your brain. Right? Blow your brain.
Blow your brain.
Blow your brain like the Hindenburg. Okay?
Like the Hindenburg?
Like the Hindenburg.
Wow.
The one, you know, if there was one sighting that I really want to talk about. It's that one. I don't know if this was fake or what, but it was the fishing ship or fishing boat that was out in the middle of the ocean.
I just saw this video that you're talking about, where
and it had this,
all of a sudden it plopped
it shot into the ocean.
They spin over, like the camera spins over, and it looks like this UFO has just surfaced up out of the water, like 10 feet above the water, and it's just hovering there for a second. You can see the water dripping off it, like it just came up out of the water as they spun over, and all of a sudden the thing takes off at like
that's not the one I'm talking about. The one I'm talking about is it's a Spanish. You can tell it's in Spanish.
Mhm.
It's like
That's what this one
in
was.
Spain,
Mhm.
but it was like these. The guy was in a panic. He was filming the other dude. He looked out into the ocean. There was the UFO was floating there, and then 2 or 3 jets came flying right into it. Boom.
Yeah.
And as it was flying into it,
Okay,
the fucking
so I didn't see the beginning of it.
UFO went right into the ocean, like just it shot down and went into the ocean.
Ah.
So I don't know if that was real, and that shit came out a long time ago, years ago.
See, I just saw one that was very similar to that, but where the UFO came up out of the water. There was basically some jets that flew over, and all of a sudden, like the guys on the fishing boat, like they basically try to to see the jets or to.
I think that's what it is. Yeah, I think
the
it was
thing comes up out of the water though, and then all of a sudden, like in a split second, it's gone. It doesn't disappear. You see that it zoomed off at like 1,000 miles an hour, and all of a sudden, like 10 seconds later, there's a military helicopter like floating down on them, like stand still, we're coming to get you, motherfucker, some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, real quick, by the way, we hope everyone had a good Memorial Day. We're filming this, of course, before Memorial Day.
Yeah, happy Memorial Day.
Oh yeah,
Happy
Memorial Day, one of
Day,
those fake
everybody.
holidays. Anyway, maybe it's not a fake holiday.
It's not a Hallmark holiday, if that's what you mean.
See, that's a good video. Yeah, that's a good video, Rich. No, it's not. You're right, Brian. But part of me feels like that good of a video could easily be faked. You know what I'm saying? Because that's something you could see in a movie and believe that is real. You know what I'm saying? With the right CG, you could believe that's real. So it's like,
we were earlier talking about the previews for the new Independence Day, and that looks kind of real.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the best ones I've seen.
I'm reading on it right now. Hit my phone.
What are you reading right now?
It's saying that
It.
a dramatic UFO video allegedly taken by a fishing boat off the coast of the Atlantic coast of Galicia, Spain, received considerable attention on the web the last week of September. The video showed a disc-shaped UFO buzzing off one side of the ship and then plunged into the ocean.
Okay.
Right? And now they're asking if it was real. And apparently it was a fake produced by
That's what I'm saying.
produced to celebrate the anniversary of Orson Welles' famous War of the Worlds.
You see what I'm saying?
Well, remember when War of the Worlds was read on the radio back in the day, and there were people that tuned in late, and they thought that it was real.
That's the reason why War of the Worlds is so well known, is because of that incident, and that's crazy because that could still happen to this day, but I guess not as easily. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
The
there's
Martians are
commercial
coming.
breaks and shit nowadays.
Well, not just commercial breaks. It's like if somebody really thought, like, oh my god, there's an alien invasion, they would switch the news station. They would check their phone. They would check a news site. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of other sources that they can check real quick to see if that's verifiably true and accurately happening. And it's like, oh, it's not happening. It's just a station playing this for some reason. It must be a show or something. Okay. So, did I tell you about the air show?
No.
Nope.
Tell us about the air show.
Mexico City, Independence Day Air Show, 1991.
Oh, Independence Day.
Yes. Vicente Guerrero films a UFO. When he zooms in, it comes towards him, then his camera cuts out. And this is my own theory. They know when you are watching and or filming. They can basically, when your attention is on them, they almost have like a sensor that senses when somebody's attention is on them, or when a consciousness has attention on them, and can pick that person out or mess with whatever. If you're recording them, they can mess with your camera equipment, drain your battery, what have you. But I believe that personally. I believe that because for my UFO sighting, I was directly under this UFO that was probably only 100 yards in the sky. I was directly under this thing with my camera pointed up at it, and for some reason I wasn't recording. When I hit the record button, when I was pointed at these UFOs, yes, it could have been my fault. I'm not saying it wasn't my fault, but if it wasn't my fault, it's because these UFOs basically unrecorded my camera, or put my camera in a state where it couldn't record while I was...
A lot of people have said that, but what do you make of the videos that you do see?
What do you mean?
Like these ones you're talking about now. How come they weren't erased or blocked out? Or
maybe their video was... Maybe either they didn't have the ability to do that UFO, that individual or in particular UFO or set of UFOs didn't have that ability to do that or didn't care. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some UFOs care and they're like, no, you're not going to film us. And other ones are just like, yeah,
in other words,
look at me, motherfucker.
Some of them are Saudi
Look how shiny my shit
UFOs.
is.
Here's something crazy that I just found out. Right? Okay, so there's a gentleman named God damn it. Where's his name?
That's an interesting
Boyd
name.
Bushman. I don't know if for all of our listeners out there.
Sound familiar. Go ahead.
Yeah, so all of our listeners out there, take a look at this guy. Type his name in, Boyd Bushman, Boyd Bushman, one word.
What about Boyd?
Okay, so Boyd is an
Avid masturbator. We already know that.
yeah, he's super masturbator. Apparently, he worked at Area 51, and he ended up coming out. He was an aerospace engineer, and he worked for Area 51, and he came out and was talking about how UFOs are real.
Okay.
And how they have pictures of the UFOs,
Okay.
of aliens and shit.
Okay. Now, has anybody verified that he actually worked at Area 51?
Yeah.
That's what I think. There's some people who have come out and they never even worked there, but since there's such
Very
a
true.
secrecy about anybody that does work there, they feel like they can get away with saying that they did work there because it's hard to verify if somebody did. You know what I'm saying? Then you could just make up all kinds of crazy shit. And there's crazy enough people out there that ain't gonna ever verify you and just will take you at your word
Scientology.
that you work there. Exactly.
And then you get crazy people on
Lord
YouTube.
Lord Xenu.
You're gonna have Tom Cruise jumping on people's couches.
Oh hell, Lord Xenu! Oh hell, Lord Xenu!
Jump on Oprah's couch.
And also Tom Cruise
Jump
is gonna
on your
knock on the
couch.
door one day. Like, what are you doing?
Jump on
What are
your
you really
couch.
doing? Can you tell me what you're doing? Can you really tell me what you're doing? Tom Cruise is just like scary when he starts talking like that. Can you really tell me what you're doing? Can you tell me what you're doing? Can you really tell me what you're doing? Why are you doing this?
Weird, man.
Yeah, exactly. He'll bug you the fuck out. Like you just get scared of him. Because
Yo,
of the way
and
he's
then you know
talking.
what? Then you get those people that get on a four-wheeler on YouTube and make the camo dudes chase them through a desert.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to get onto Area 51 to see what's there.
And they get 1 million views. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right, look, same air show. Independence Day Air Show in Mexico City, 1993.
Ooh.
Another UFO is seen crossing the path of a fleet of military helicopters. You guys may have seen this video before. It's a well-known video.
I haven't.
But it's a small UFO or a small object that crosses the path of basically goes into the middle of a fleet of UFOs. It just crosses right through a fleet of, not UFOs, a fleet of military helicopters.
A UFO. All right, I gotta look this up.
A small UFO, yeah. Just say, what do you call it? 1993 Mexico City Independence Day Air Show UFO helicopters. Just put that in. I know it's a little drawn out, but
There's a lot to put
Here,
in.
you say it again.
1993 Mexico City Independence Day Air Show UFO helicopters.
Here are some pictures that match.
Yeah, you stop, Diddy.
Oh, yeah, this is pretty interesting.
It is interesting. I'll tell you what. All right. Cape Kennedy, Florida, 1993. UFO comes close and passing by Columbia shuttle during ascent to space. Never explained by NASA. So
Heard
there's a
about
video of the Columbia space shuttle going with the UFO crossing right through its path, and NASA never even mentioned it. Some pretty crazy shit. And that's where it's like NASA just is very hush-hush on anything that has to do with any kind of UFOs. And it
NASA
makes you
is
wonder-
hush-hush on everything, period.
and it's like, do they pay off people like Neil deGrasse Tyson, who people look up to and revere in so many different lights? Do they pay him off to say that NASA doesn't cover anything up and that's just stupid, and people who say that are kind of stupid, and make people who actually genuinely believe that NASA has covered some things up in the past, whether it be the moon landings or whether it be just simple unexplainable objects
Rich,
right outside
now,
the Earth's atmosphere. in
Right
orbit.
now, there's a group of people sitting at home listening to this saying, the Challenger didn't explode in the air. It crashed into the firmament. Flat Earth.
You're more of a flat earther than you'd like to admit.
No, I like laughing at
It's like the gay. It's like
it is laughable.
it's like
It
the
really is.
homophobe who, I'm not calling you a homophobe. I'm saying it's like the homophobe who is like, yeah, fuck these gays, man. Yo, fuck these gays. Yo, I hate these fucking gays, yo. They're so fucking stupid. And it's like, in all reality, like, he goes home and beats off to fucking dudes sucking each other's dicks and shit. And it's like, Brian, you scare me because you hate on the flat earther so much. It's like, I think you watch some flat earth stuff and you're like, I don't know, this firmament thing, I'm not sure, you know what I'm saying?
No, it pisses me the hell off.
You're scared to admit that you're...
pisses me off that in 10 minutes it can be so convincing. And you're watching it.
I told you.
And I'm watching it, and then it's like you have to snap out of it. And it's like, what the fuck?
And you really realize some people can't snap themselves out of it, and they go out and say, like Tila Tequila or BYOB or whatever the guy's name is, go out and actually tell people or put a shit on their Twitter, like, just try and prove to me that it ain't. Just try and prove to me that it ain't. Alright, well then.
I think Flat Earth is just full of shit.
Yeah, I don't know. He's right though. If you watch some of the shit, you can be convinced that all that.
The way those things are filmed, I don't know how to explain it.
No, the flat
Earth, look it
Earth
up on YouTube.
Conspiracies convince me of one thing. They don't convince me of a flat Earth. They convince me that you can be convinced of almost anything on the internet by a good enough argument.
Did you ever see that? Did you ever see this clip where they were asking people like, what did you? They were asking random people, what did you think of the alien contact that we had today that was on the government news, and people were like, "Oh, I find it interesting," people were like, "Oh, I think it's interesting. I think they're here to come in peace." And they were like, "Well, did you see it?" And people were like, "Yeah, I seen the saucers up in the air earlier today." Like, come on, dude, come the fuck on, man.
I've seen
people are easily convinced of everything.
People are just stupid too. A lot of people are very ill-informed and a lot stupider than we as a general public like to think we are, because it's us. We're part of the general public. But as far as in general,
people just want to be a part of.
I've seen the exact same thing where they've walked up to people and say, "Hey, did you hear the Reverend Martin Luther King's speech yesterday? Wasn't that a great speech?" And people were like, "Yeah, I heard it. I thought it was okay. It could have been a little bit better, but yeah, overall, I think it was a great speech." And it's like, Martin Luther King's been dead for years. Like, people like snap out and like they only went up there, and I'm sure 80% of the people they went up to were like, "What are you talking about? Martin Luther King's dead." But they still found 5 to 10 people that were able to be like, they have no idea who Martin Luther King is, or have somewhat of an idea, but don't remember that he was assassinated or that he was killed. You know what I'm saying? Or is that the Mandela effect?
I don't think it was Mark Dice, but there was somebody who did one. So he was grabbing like college kids. I think it was like college kids in California. He's asking them, so what do you think George Washington's chances are of getting elected in 2020?
Wow. Yeah, I believe that, though.
And there's people like sitting there who obviously they know George Washington because they're citing things that he did. Yeah, didn't he lead that win in that war that time? I think he'd be a good president. I think he should run.
Well, this is scary because this chick was in the military. This girl was like in military garb on like the Wheel of Fortune.
This is scary because this is college kids.
Well, this chick was on the Wheel of Fortune and representing the military. Okay, and it wasn't like a military show. She was just one of the contestants who was in her military garb because she was one of the contestants that was chosen. But she's in the military, so she has to wear her military garb to let everybody know she's in the military, right?
Yeah.
All right. This chick had exclusive nightclub was the whole thing. The bottom said nightclub already, and the top had 2 letters missing from exclusive. And one of them was X, and the other one I think was S or I, right? This chick said, "Can I get a K?" She said, "Can I get a K?" There was 2 spaces left, the X from exclusive and the I from exclusive, or the S from exclusive. She said, "Can I get a K?"
What word was she thinking?
Exclusive. She was putting a K there.
Oh, you
this
fucking
chick
kidding me?
Was a military, a chick who was in our military, representing our military on TV. So you would think she would be at least somewhat bright enough to get onto the Wheel of Fortune.
Man.
Like, you've got to be kidding. Even though I know the Wheel of Fortune is no Jeopardy. You know?
And these are the people that are leading our
you
world.
know Ken
man.
Jennings getting on the Wheel of Fortune, but still.
Just like you ever see, what was it?
That's the state of our shit. People are just naturally dumbasses.
Yeah. So yeah.
How many news articles do you read online? And it's like, it's really like, I can't believe believe that they get away with it. How many news articles do you read online where you see a typo or a word spelled wrong, and it just like, it's a big fucking, it's like Huffington Post or some shit, and you're like, how the hell did this even get through? And like, how did this person type this and think that, like, read that back?
I mean, you
can't
can't get everything right all the time.
You can't get everything right.
I mean, and people make mistakes.
Sometimes they're just honest mistakes.
Just like Photoshop errors. You ever see that?
Are just idiots.
You ever see Photoshop errors where people have like?
Oh my god! Yeah.
Oh my god!
That's made me want to get
terrible.
into Photoshop, like doing Photoshop professionally, just to try and eliminate some of that shit because it's so idiotic, and it almost
you got 3 hands.
It shines through the veneers. Like when you do Photoshop shit, you're creating a veneer, a fake world. But when you fuck up like that, it proves to everybody that it's just a fake world that you've created, and like you can see right through that, and you see almost all the imperfections when there's one major one like that. You know what?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a guest.
Who's at my door? Who? Motherfucker.
We have a guest. We are back. We are back.
Alright, well, sit off to the side, man. We're almost done.
Yeah, I gotta get going.
Dude, who likes to smoke by themselves? Huh? Nobody? Alright, look. We got fucking half a page to go. Ready? Where were we?
We were talking about Mr. 15 Fingers.
Before my neighbor rudely interrupted us. What is that one part of that
15
song?
Fingers.
Don't be interrupted while I'm recording.
I think the last thing you read was the 93 air show.
I did the 93 air show. How about Cape Kennedy, Florida, 1993? Did I mention Cape Kennedy in Florida?
No.
No, I did when he was talking about Florida.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he tried it.
All right, UFO comes close. Yeah, we did. Columbia Shuttle. Never explained by NASA. Okay. So West Carleton, Canada, 1991. First video account of UFO landing in a field. Many lights, crazy video, submitted by Guardian. That's who the anonymous person who submitted it called themselves Guardian.
See, I find people with names like that, I don't fuck.
One of the craziest videos you'll ever see, though. It's like, yes, it's so blurry that you could say that maybe it's some sort of military helicopter, but this shit has got so many lights going off on it and shit. There's some crazy shit going on. If you look up that video, the West Carleton, Canada, 1991 video, UFO landed. So it's not just a UFO in the sky, it's landed. Miami, Florida, 1995. Abraham films large, extremely bright UFO hover low over the city, slowly moving across. Out of nowhere, it shrinks to nothing and disappears. Like I said, this is just a video that I found. Miami, Florida, for 1995. Just type in Abraham UFO video. Abraham, sorry.
Why does that sound familiar?
I don't know. You guys might be thinking of Abraham Hicks.
Maybe.
But this is one of the craziest videos
Is that
I've
any
ever seen.
relation to Bill Hicks?
No, but it's a big, what do you call it? It's actually a lady, I can't remember her full name or her real name, but she channels a spirit named Abraham, and it's actually fucking awesome shit to listen to. But anyway, this thing is like a 20-foot large or wide big ball of light that shrinks down to nothing and disappears on this video. It looks like it's kind of hard to fake some shit like that. It's really interesting, and it doesn't give off any of its own, like, there's no shadows underneath. It's not giving off light where it's like casting shadows. So that's what was really kind of weird about it. But it was definitely there.
Really
it's not like, doesn't look like it was placed on the video after or post-production, whatever the hell you want to call it. It definitely was there and just disappeared. So what the fuck was that? You know, could that be some paranormal type of shit, or is that a UFO? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's why we did UFO paranormal.
Did you ever look and see? Did you ever look and see if there's anything that tried to debunk that at all?
No. A lot of these videos are not a lot of them. Some of these videos are not as well known, so people haven't really been able to debunk them, or finding the debunction, I guess you could say, is harder to find.
Finding the
debunction.
You like that?
There you go. You said you're
3 and in, baby. We create new words all the time.
All right, Mexico, 1991. This is the craziest one. 1991 solar eclipse in Mexico.
Yeah,
this UFO
that
was
shit's
filmed
no
by
joke.
5,000 plus people. Okay, it was filmed by 5,000 plus people. Now, as far as how many people put out their videos, 17. There's 17 videos out there that can be found of the 1991 Mexico solar eclipse. 17 different videos of this UFO sighting from 17 different perspectives, angles, and locations.
It's like that movie Vantage Point.
Is that the one that was in Jerusalem? Did you ever see that one? The UFO
One of my
in
favorite
Jerusalem?
ones, my friend. I should have mentioned that. I should have had that here on my list, but I haven't seen it, and I did not look at that one when I was looking through all these videos.
I know that
But
one's
yes,
not
that one
debunked.
where there's a ball of light, maybe 10 feet wide to 5 to 10 feet wide, hovering above a temple in Jerusalem, directly above the top of the dome of the temple, and hovering there. There's people taking video of it, and all of a sudden it shoots directly straight up into
Well,
the sky.
it blinks, and then it shoots up.
Yeah, it was almost like
pulsates.
pulsating. There you go.
Yeah.
And it shot directly straight up into the sky.
That's
at,
pretty
like
interesting.
probably what looked like between 500.
And it was
to
caught from
1,000
three
miles
different
an hour.
angles.
Yeah, exactly. Three different videos caught that same exact thing.
Yep.
So that's some crazy shit.
That's pretty interesting.
And that's also when I think about religion being just complete and total utter nonsense. I still think about it holding there's still some grain of truth in there.
Something inspiring.
To Christianity, to Islam, to all of the major religions. There's some grain of truth in there, but most of it needs to be thrown out.
Well, that's where
and
all the major
started
religions-
over.
that's
But we
where-
can't throw all of it completely
That's
out.
where
We
all
have
the
to
major
decipher
religions meet.
where
Jerusalem.
the real truth is. Yeah, that's
where
what
they
I'm
all
saying.
meet.
There is
Yep.
something special about Jerusalem, but there's not something about Palestine and Israel. I'm sorry. There's something special about Palestine. The whole Israel, like, let's create Israel because that's God's land. I don't agree with that whole thing. But that's for a whole nother show. But in this solar eclipse video, and a lot of these solar eclipse videos, the 17 of them, and a lot of them, if you watch it, it almost seems like the UFO is distorting the reality around it. Okay, and that's if you remember my UFO experience I told you about. The UFO that I saw like 100 yards off the ground over top of me basically looked like reality was distorting around it, which was like it boggled my mind to try and think what was actually happening in front of my own eyes. But to see it happened in that UFO video too, it really kind of concretes in my mind that maybe this shit is some interdimensional shit, and like we don't even accept interdimensional shit as far as science goes. So as at this point, so are we still a ways off or a ways away from getting to the point of really even figuring out what UFOs really are? If we are ever even going to get there, maybe we're not. Maybe we're not meant to.
My fault.
All right, got another one here. The 1991 eclipse in Pueblo, Mexico, or from Pueblo, Mexico. There's a shiny UFO filmed in the sky, and it's an extremely clear vid. So if you put in Pueblo, Mexico, 1991 eclipse, UFO video, you will find one of the clearest UFO videos you'll ever find. And the only reason it's credible is because it's during the 1991 eclipse in Mexico and shit. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that's credible because there's already 17 different videos of a UFO sighting during the eclipse. Even though this is a different one, it's still a little bit different,
Yeah,
Or
it's
still
right
better.
there.
Yeah.
Yep, it's...
All right. So how do you explain UFO fleets? My question. How do you explain UFO fleets?
Well, how do you explain the secret space program and the star fleets orbiting the dark side of the moon?
Could that be?
I would say, you know what?
See?
If I had to come up with what UFOs could possibly be, I would say a lot of it is military testing. That
Well, fleets. Do you think fleets could be much more likely to be military vehicles being
testing?
tested,
Yeah,
new military vehicles being tested, and they're testing out different functions?
yeah, I would definitely say it's military testing. It could be military testing, most for
Very
sure.
well could be.
But there are some that are just very very unexplainable, and I would definitely say that it could be maybe not alien, but some otherworldly thing.
Okay. All right. But it could also be military.
I say most likely it's military.
Area 51, Groom Lake, Dulce, New Mexico, right? Could have came from S4 at Area 51.
The SR-71 spy plane came from Area 51.
So did
Yeah.
the Blackbird.
Yeah, but there's a lot of it's also been declassified or some shit that Area 51 is no longer no longer used to
Yeah, it's
develop.
Dulce now.
Yeah, I believe it is Dulce. But Groom Lake is still used. Groom Lake and Area 51 are kind of hand in hand.
Yeah.
And it's still used.
Which makes you
for
wonder,
what?
why
it's
is
still
it
classified and
the
closed
camo
off.
guys
Yeah.
out?
I lived in Delran.
So there's another, what do you call it? Pearl UFOs, 24 UFOs captured at once. All right?
What?
Yeah, they're on the what do you call it?
What,
Talk in the bedroom, yeah. Talk in the bedroom.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
What do you call it? Pearl UFOs. 24 UFOs captured at once at one video, and are like pearl shaped and like shiny like pearls. That's a great one, and that's easy to find if you just type in Pearl UFOs. Bob Lazar, Area 51 employee. Take a look at his story. Bob Lazar's stories will always blow your mind. Bob Lazar is one of the people who's come out and said that he's worked at Area 51. That's what I'm saying. It's just one of these things where it's hard to kind of verify if somebody has worked at Area 51. But Bob Lazar says he worked at Area 51 and has come out with some crazy shit. So look into Bob Lazar's shit. John Lear, world-famous test pilot, has come out to state UFOs exist, and U.S. military is well aware and involved with alien species. Okay, so that's John Lear, world-famous test pilot. You know what I'm saying? So that's somebody who, yes, could have lost his mind, but is less likely to have lost his mind, considering he's been interviewed and is still been interviewed, and people don't say, oh, this guy's just out of his mind. They're like, it's John Lear, the world-famous test pilot, and we kind of should at least give him some credence.
Buzz Aldrin's crazy.
Buzz Aldrin is crazy.
Yeah, I'll third that.
But then again, maybe Buzz Aldrin isn't crazy. He's just crazy for speaking the shit he knows. He's unfiltered himself. Or uninhibited himself.
Man.
Yeah, he's probably
he's
probably just like my Uncle Tom and crazy. And
he's crazy.
Isn't he dead? Isn't Buzz Aldrin dead? God rest his soul? I don't know. Anyway, if he's not,
so.
and he turns up soon,
Neil Armstrong is dead.
All right, one of them.
Is he?
Yeah.
All right, there's a lot of people who think the grays come from the Zeta Reticuli system.
Yes.
So, okay.
You want to hear an interesting story?
What?
No, an interesting fact, actually. That if human civilization, I don't know if did we talk about this the last time I was here?
What?
That, no, we didn't. If human civilization were to become a Type 3 civilization, we would not be able to leave our corner of the galaxy, our corner of the universe. We live in a supercluster of clusters, and we would not ever be able to get outside of that cluster.
We would, but not
we wouldn't.
In any lifetime, we would have to.
No, we wouldn't.
Like upend civilization.
No, we wouldn't. There would be nowhere for us to go. We are literally gravitationally bound by.
Well, if you believe Brian's flat Earth theory, no.
I do.
We are gravitationally.
We never even left the universe.
We are gravitationally bound by
the atmosphere. Yeah.
Hold on. We're gravitationally bound by our galactic neighbors. Which is about 50 groups of galaxies.
Oh, okay,
but we would never, ever.
Yeah, but that's why I think we're kind of foolish to make
be able to get outside
that statement.
We would never.
Science. I'm not saying you're making.
Yeah, but we would never.
Science has obviously made that statement. And
you know what? And it's
that's
a fact.
like trying to figure out.
Well, because you got to think about it like this: because those our galaxies are moving away from each other faster or as fast as the speed of light. The superclusters, like. It's made in gravitational clusters. So the gravitational clusters are what we call our local group, which is about 50 different galaxies. They are gravitationally bound together, and outside of that, those gravitationally bound galaxies which we see as the outer edges of the universe, or whatever, they're gravitationally bound to each other. And even them, they're their own little pocket universes. And everything is moving away from everything at the speed of light or faster. So if we even became a Type 3 civilization and we're able to get beyond that point, we could go beyond that point, but we would never see the light or ever catch up to them ever again.
We would never catch up.
Yeah, we would never catch up to it because it's far. First off, it's too far. And second, it's going way too fast. So... Yeah, unfortunately.
Unless we figure out wormholes or something else like that.
So unfortunately, like when people talk about UFOs coming from like the other edge of the universe, stuff like that, I'm not buying it. It's not plausible. Not even for our current technology. It doesn't matter. We can make wormholes and everything, dude. It's not happening. We're not getting there. We're just not.
CERN made a black hole.
I mean, our corner of the universe, yeah. The 0.1%. Yeah, 50 galaxies. I mean, 50
I think
different
our
galaxies.
understanding of what's possible is limited by our ability to comprehend, our ability to perceive.
Conversations of the gods. Conversations with God. Matter has a finite speed. Light has a finite speed. Thought doesn't. So when we die, our consciousness doesn't have a finite speed. We can go anywhere we want at all times.
Oh, you know what?
We're in the next.
No, but you know what that could prove? That could prove simulation theory. What you're saying that could prove simulation theory because our simulation can only encompass so much. Like Grand Theft Auto is not an actual whole world. It's an island, basically. It's surrounded by water, and if you head out into that water, eventually you hit a point where you can't go any further. Yeah, you feel like you're continuing to go, but you're really not going any further. And that's kind of like what he's saying right there is this whole simulation is our universe and cluster universes. We like to think, oh, well, if it's a simulation, it's really just a simulation of Earth or a simulation of our solar system.
Exactly.
But no, it's a simulation of our entire cluster of the universe, right? And if we were to try and get out of that cluster of the universe, yes, we may feel like we're making progress to get out of it, but we will never actually make it out of it to any exterior destination because there is no exterior destination because the simulation will not create that exterior destination. That was never programmed into it. The only thing that was programmed into it was the image of that exterior destination.
Exactly. And then the thing is and even in those other systems, those other galaxies, those other clusters, it's the same thing for them. They'll never get here.
All the other shit that we see in deep space,
it's gone.
Real at all. We already know that it's just the light or the image of it that's taken a while to get to us, right? But what if that shit does not even exist? It's like the walls in the Truman Show, the walls that look like the sky, and all of a sudden we eventually hit a point where it's like, ding! We just fucking bump into this painting of stars and nebulae and shit like that.
It's gone.
That you can infinitely zoom into, and fucking it's got the best detail, but it's still just a wall with all that shit painted on it.
In the end, it's all gone.
That's crazy, man.
And we just got to accept what we got.
All right, look, this is what the Greys calls. We have mentioned, or they refer to us as containers. This is what some people have said. People have been abducted and come back and talk to the Greys.
Containers.
But no, think about it, especially if you've read Conversations with God.
Well,
think about it.
We're our bodies.
We're containers for consciousness.
Our consciousness, yeah.
But a different level of consciousness than any other species on this planet really has.
Well, what would make our
intelligent consciousness where we can actually use tools, we can actually use computers, figure out mathematics.
Crows use tools.
Huh?
Animals use tools. Animals have language.
Animals use tools.
culture.
Monkeys use tools. But there's a certain level of evolution that humanity has. You know what I'm saying?
It's their niche.
It's their niche.
Yeah, that's what they call it. That's like their thing. Like how they survive and how they use their tools and like make their houses and shit.
Like a monkey uses a stick. But a monkey uses a stick to get a, what do you call it? A monkey uses a stick to get ants out of his ear. You know what humans use? Humans say, I'm going to invent some fucking thing that I can make some money off. That's the difference of an evolved, intelligent brain. Whereas, no monkey is like, you know what? I'm going to start producing these sticks in my back of my hut.
So they call us. They call us the containers because of what the consciousness.
Because we contain. I think there's maybe almost a special brand of soul that is in the human consciousness. You know what I'm saying? Or that is the human consciousness. That is the energy that powers the human body. I think it's a special brand of soul, and they call us containers for that special brand of soul. That special brand of soul is really God incarnate, and that we actually have the ability to know that we are God incarnate, and no other species really has that full ability, plus the intelligence to really understand what that entails and what that means, and what kind of control over your own destiny that could entail. You know what I'm saying?
Pretty much what he's saying in layman's terms, ladies and gentlemen, to our beautiful listeners, is that we are one.
Well, what I'm also saying is that we're containers. Our bodies are just...
Yeah.
This is your car, all right? This ain't shit but your car that you're driving around this world in, you know what I'm saying? It's going to break down eventually. You're going to have to fucking get out, whether you like it or not. You can't sit in your car till the fucking...
Now, do you believe in reincarnation and the option to buy a new car?
Yeah.
I believe... somewhat in it. I think. I don't think
somewhat.
We're able to know.
I would say
I don't
somewhat.
Think we're supposed to
Getting
fucking
a body kit.
What's the point of coming here? What's the point of coming here if you know what happens afterwards? Because what happens if you know what happens afterwards, and what happens afterwards is the most fucking amazing thing that's ever you could ever imagine. And there's no such thing as hell. And no matter what, you return to the source. You return to the source, the energy that what some people may call God, but the energy that powers everybody else. You return to, and you have a full understanding of what you just did and what your experience just was and what it was all for and what its purpose was and yada yada, right? You can experience all that. Well, if you know it's nothing but glory when you die, no matter even if you've murdered somebody, you know it's glory when you die, well then you might go out and murder 20 people just because you've had a bad day, and like, oh well, if I get fucking put to death because of it, or somebody shoots me because I decide to go on this rampage, well, oh well, it's all glory afterwards anyway. You know what I'm saying? Then what is the fucking point of coming here? And it's not going to be nothing but hell here. It could turn into hell here.
Apparently,
the truth is human beings could come out.
That's where you got it.
Apparently, there is no purpose for us having conscious awareness. There is nothing. There is no purpose that in God's grand plan.
There is no. No,
there
the only purpose is to come here and do what you want to do.
What I want to fucking do.
It's to either be happy or be sad or whatever the hell you.
And even at that point, it doesn't even fucking matter.
It does. None of it really matters.
Doesn't matter.
None of it, you know.
Doesn't matter.
See, and I don't know if you understand this statement because it shocks everybody. It shocks Brian when I say it, and I've said it only probably once or twice. But it's always shocking to people. When you understand that Hitler went to heaven, you understand what the true nature of the universe is. Not just what the true nature, and it doesn't mean the universe is evil. If Hitler went to heaven, that means the universe is evil. No, it means the universe
doesn't give a shit.
The universal consciousness
does
not give a shit whether we're evil to each other or we're good to each other.
It doesn't.
All it wants is what we want for ourselves individually.
And if you want to,
if we're going to be selfish, then it wants
us
what
to be
we
selfish.
Want. It wants all the good stuff for us because we're selfish. You know what I'm saying? But if we don't want to be selfish and we want to be nothing but kind to the world and give away every last penny that we have to the poor and the penniless, you know, like then that's what it wants for us. You know what I'm saying? If we want to be a piece of shit person, and we want to murder motherfuckers, and we want to fuck people over,
it is what we want to do.
Then that's where the karma of the universe kind of comes into play, and you can just deal with that. But the universal consciousness doesn't give a shit if you want to be like that. No matter what, you're going to end up rejoining.
Pretty much in the end, there is no consequences for whatever you're doing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
There is you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yep.
There is no consequences to it in the end of the day because the universal consciousness doesn't care.
Yeah. There is karma.
There's karma for every action. Equal opposite reaction.
I think karma is
what you believe you perceive.
Yeah, I think karma.
Same with placebo effect. That's the exact same.
To me, karma is drawing. It's the law of attention. You draw in what you put out. So you want to put out bullshit, you're gonna get bullshit back.
Yep.
It's the law of attraction.
Yep.
That's what karma is to me. You know what I mean?
Yep. Damn straight. Ain't nothing paranormal about that shit. It's it's the power of your brain.
You want to be a dick?
Force. Brain. It's the force, I'll tell you. Alright. Alien implants can be confirmed. I think we touched on that
You know what?
time.
Nah, man. I'm not
The
buying
Borg
that
are
shit,
real, man. The Borg are real.
We had a conversation about that last time.
We did. And we won't
you
get
know
into
what?
it again.
Listen.
We won't get into it again. But I believe... I'm not sitting here and saying I believe alien implants have been
No, I
placed
know.
in people,
I know what you're saying.
but I believe that some unknown objects have been found in people, and there's no reasonable explanation for how those fucking unknown objects got there. Whether they be from outside this planet or just mistakenly identified as from outside this planet, there have been unidentified objects found in people's bodies. You know? And hey, I was stabbed with a, graphite pencil when I was in 5th grade. Shit's still in my the point of it is still in my hand. Okay? One day I may go fucking a little bit senile and completely forget that I got stabbed in 5th grade. Okay? Now, if I go to the fucking doctor and I say, Doc, there's something in here. I don't know what it is. No, I've never had an injury on this hand ever before in my life because I'm going a little senile. I don't remember 5th grade. What the hell are you talking about? Right? Oh, he pulls it out. It's a weird, metal-shaped pointed thing, I don't know. And what if he misdiagnoses it as some unidentifiable thing? Or he sends it off to be analyzed by a lab, and they analyze it.
And that's what I think the majority of these fucking things are, man.
Exactly. I'm saying that is possible. That is definitely possible. But what is also just as possible, maybe not as plausible, but as possible, is that it is some sort of implant.
Extraterrestrial.
People want to believe shit. You know
if we're talking aliens and things like that today, we have to touch on reptilian shapeshifters.
Yeah, we don't have time to touch on reptilian shapeshifters, and I don't even think that even connects to aliens.
Isn't that part of Scientology?
No, that's David Icke's money.
Oh yeah.
It's not just
with the fucking chick on the moon and shit.
Yeah,
dude, all the presidents are reptilian.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of people.
All the presidents are blood related.
Yeah, they are
look that
all
up.
related. That's why
Look
they're
that
all
up.
reptilian
All 44.
too. They all come from the same fucking They worship the devil, though.
All right, look, we got 2 minutes left. I'm gonna go rapid fire on my last my notes here. If they make sense, maybe they will. If they don't, I apologize. All right, look, aliens got ability to walk through walls, ability to communicate telepathically. They can cause paralysis, they can erase memories, and they can pause time. That's the simulation shit where all that does is verify simulation theory.
Pause button.
That they can, it's like The Sims, and they can pause our shit and like fuck with us and like move our arm or actually take us for 8 hours and we come back and no time has really passed. 3 minutes have passed, you know what I'm saying?
You live in a holographic
like, that's some
universe.
fucking crazy shit. Alright, Area 51 workers come down with weird afflictions like scales.
Scales?
What the fuck? Like scales.
What do you mean? Like, wait.
Like reptilian scales.
Like being burnt standing outside too fucking long, maybe?
Yeah, no, from being exposed to some sort of material underground at Area 51, and they end up getting scales. Like
radiation?
Like it looks like a rash, but it actually starts to develop scales, and scales start to grow onto people's skin.
Like radiation?
And they can't get any help because Area 51 doesn't exist. So it's like, how are you going to say that you got injured at Area 51 when that place doesn't even technically exist? All right, we are a Type 0 civilization. When we move to Type 1, ET will be willing to communicate with us. Type 3 has godlike abilities, which Rich kind of touched on.
Yeah, and those godlike abilities stretch for so far, and we are almost at the cusp of becoming a Type 1 civilization. You, dear listener, if you don't die within 100 years, you will become a Type 1 civilized person, because we are moving into that realm.
The guy who took out the implants was Dr. Roger Lear. What do you call it? If military or government is involved, this is the saddest and scariest part of it all. It goes way deeper than 99.99999% of us can imagine. Okay, can imagine. And if you really want to like kind of delve into that world and let your mind try and imagine that shit, see the Area 51 docu-movie or mockumentary or whatever it was. It was really good. The end of it was like creepy as hell. It was really creepy. Brian watched it. It's really creepy, so you gotta watch it. I'm pretty sure that's all I said. I did some stuff on Schrodinger's cat, but we already touched on that. Does a ghost or a UFO not exist if it is not observed? I just want to leave you on that thought. We got to take off. It's 30 seconds to go.
Ghosts.
YouTube.com/where we lie to.
You got it.
The Mind of Rich at Facebook and mindofrich at blogspot.com and Instagram.
Facebook/3NN podcast.
Yep. You can find Nick Tesla on Facebook. You can find
Brian, Twitter.
He's there.
Twitter.
YouTube.
We're on the internet, folks, and guess what?
Facebook.
You've been able to check us out on iTunes for a while. So if you're an iTunes listener, come find us on YouTube and leave a comment because we would love to hear from you and hear how your iTunes experience has been so far. Listening to us in your car. Thanks. Have a good one. Bye.
Let me know when this gets irritating, okay?
Now! It's irritating almost at once.